March 19th, 1963. Eastern Airlines Flight EA 539 from New York to Washington. 5 minutes past midnight, the plane encounters a storm. There's a loud bang and a bright flash. Seconds later, a glowing ball emerges from the pilot's cabin. The blue-white ball hovers above the aisle and floats slowly toward the rear of the plane. It reaches the back of the plane and vanishes. Remarkably, the plane continues unharmed. But this wasn't fantasy. This was fact, and it wasn't the first account of its kind. In World War II, pilots reported strange balls of light that seemed to follow their planes. U.S. pilots named them Foo Fighters. For thousands of years, people have claimed to encounter fiery spheres as ghosts, messages from the gods, or UFOs. But there was something different about the Eastern Airlines account. The eyewitness wasn't an adrenaline-fueled fighter pilot or a medieval mystic. He was a scientist, a professor at a prestigious British university. Suddenly, scientists sat up and took notice. One scientist who's been inspired by his own close encounter is nuclear physicist Dr. Graham Hubler.
I have seen ball lightning myself, so I know that it exists.
A teenage Hubler is on a date in a park in upstate New York. A storm breaks out. The couple takes shelter in a bandstand.
And suddenly, off to our left, we're sitting there with open sides on the left and the front. Off to the left, we saw this ball approaching, ball of light. And, of course, we were terrified. What the heck was this? We didn't know what it was.
Slowly, the ball approaches.
It was about 30 yards away and coming slowly at us, just kind of drifting along. And we're looking at this thing and we were both just paralyzed, actually.
To their horror, it enters the bandstand and rolls across the floor, past the couple's feet with a strange sound.
The sound it was making was like a freshly struck match.
At the other side of the bandstand, the ball leaps back up and travels out of the open side.
And it jumped right back up to about 6 feet off the ground and went out another 20, 30 feet out into the night, and then very quickly dropped to the ground and extinguished without a noise.
The experience leaves Hubler with a lifelong fascination with ball lightning. He collects thousands of eyewitness accounts. There's multiple ball lightning, balls that fell from the sky, that exploded, hissed, spun, hovered, jumped. It's even been seen to pass through solid objects without leaving a trace.
There is no good theory that exists that explains the features of ball lightning. Different theories can explain one or two of the features of ball lightning, but none really do a very good job of explaining it all.
One man who's examined all the evidence, investigated all the theories, is physicist Mark Stenhoff.
There are probably almost as many theories of ball lightning as there have been scientists investigating it.
But there is one thing almost everyone agrees on. Ball lightning is probably plasma. Plasma is the commonest form of matter in the universe. The sun, fire, lightning, and the space between the stars are all plasma. It's not hard to make plasma. Run a current through a gas, and it will spontaneously emit light. But explaining how a fiery ball can materialize out of thin air has confounded scientists for centuries.
I think as soon as we see something we can't explain, particularly something as bizarre as that, we have a tendency to move outside our normal frames of reference and explain things using, if you like, rather supernatural kinds of explanations.
One of the more sensible theories is that ball lightning is produced by a rare phenomenon known as bead lightning. This footage shows a lightning bolt that appears to break into small beads. Some scientists argue that ball lightning is a plasma bead that's become separated from the bolt. But there's one big problem. eyewitnesses talk of balls lasting minutes. These beads vanish in less than half a second.
We don't know of a way in which we could create a plasma in the atmosphere that's self-contained, that would survive for many seconds. A plasma would provide plenty of energy, but it wouldn't be able to survive for that period of time.
So if ball lightning isn't part of a lightning bolt, could it be the product of one? This strange-looking stone is the fossilized remnant of a lightning strike. Lightning strikes sandy soil. Heat and current spread through the ground. Everything in its path fuses into a solid tube. This is nature's own glass. It's called a fulgurite and can stretch to depths of 15 feet. When the tube is formed, dust is pushed up into the atmosphere. This detonation replicates the effect. Could something as simple as dust hold the key to this centuries-old mystery? Laboratory experiments prove a tiny dust ball holds its shape and ignites in an area of electrical charge. It could explain Hubler's account, but not the Eastern Airlines one.
It's extremely difficult to imagine how any chemical process could actually, if you like, invade the space inside the aircraft.
For now, ball lightning remains a mystery. But if science can unlock its secrets, ball lightning could turn out to be more than just a curiosity. It's even possible it could hold the key to a completely new source of energy.
Evidently it contains energy. Just the sheer process of glowing is sufficient to require some energy.
And if we could harness that energy, who knows what the future might hold?